What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. I gotta tell you, man, these last couple days, they've been nice. They've been nice as a Ravens fan. When you hear from Lamar Jackson and you hear what he's got to say, as a Ravens fan, it makes you happy. There were two things he said in his press conference yesterday that makes all of Ravens flock feel very happy. And these two things are very important moving forward in terms of us trying to get to a championship and just having Lamar with us long term. So we're going to get into that. But first, a couple notes regarding what's going on with OTAs. So first of note, Bradley Bozeman has been named the starting center for our offensive line. So that pretty much settles how the O-line is going to be. That basically means that Ben Cleveland's probably going to take that left guard position, and, he'll be in competition there. So we'll see how it goes. But for the most part, our offensive line seems to be pretty much good to go. With Bozeman now being the starting center, he's going to take care of the snaps. And hopefully that means this whole issue we had with snaps last season, that won't be a problem this season. I believe Bozeman's going to get the job done, no problem. So that issue we had, especially towards the end of last season, should be relatively gone. So that's a positive. Another note from OTAs is T. Martin and Keith Williams. They've been putting in work with our players, and they've been giving a lot of positive feedback and a lot of helpful insights that is really doing well with our receivers. Hollywood Brown, in fact, praised that and said he's learning a lot from them, and it's amazing what they're teaching him. So I'm glad to hear early on that these coaches are making an impact, especially in our receiving core. This is great. We need to hear stuff like this because these two guys are our only hope to save and hopefully evolve our passing game. So to see that they're already working with the receivers, and you're already hearing from Hollywood Brown, one of our main guys, saying what they're teaching them, what they're showing them, amazing. It's very helpful. He's learning a lot. That's great to hear. So that's another positive. One last thing we're hearing from OTAs is that Miles Boykin has actually been the standout player, the standout offensive player during these practices. He's been standout. He's been making a lot of great catches. He's been showing out in practice. Now, this is something we're actually used to hearing about because Boykin for like Boykin, not last year because of the whole situation, but previously during his rookie year, all we heard about was Boykin just making plays and just being that standout guy in practices. However, it never actually translated into game time. And once again, here we are hearing about Miles Boykin showing out during OTAs, and we're not sure if it's gonna, translate to the regular season. Hopefully it does, because I'm still rooting for Boykin, but we've got to see these same plays he's making in practice. They have to translate into the game. Otherwise, there's not much you can do. You can't keep having Boykin out there just to block. He's got to start making plays. The man has size. It's time for him to use it. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes, but we're definitely hearing about Boykin being the standout offensive player in OTA, so that's good to hear. We'll see if he can take his game to the next level. With that being said, let's get back to Lamar. So yesterday, Lamar talked to the media for the first time since January. What was it, January 13th? I think it was like 3 or 4 days before the playoff game against the Buffalo Bills. That was the last time he talked to them. So, he had that whole press conference yesterday, and he said a lot of interesting things. Two takeaways from what he said that honestly made Ravens flock so happy. The first one involved his contract situation. Obviously, we're trying to get him an extension. DaCosta is definitely on the work for that. Him and Lamar talked last month, and they're trying to get that figured out. But at the end of the day, with Lamar, he said he doesn't really care when they get it done because right now he's focused on trying to help this team win. But one thing he definitely expressed is, I want to be a Raven forever. He loves Baltimore. He loves the team. He loves the franchise. He wants to be a Raven forever. He wants to be here in Baltimore. He loves this place. A guy like that, we got to get a contract done. And if you're a Ravens fan, you love it because we all love Lamar. And to see he truly loves being here and he just loves the city, he loves the fan base, he loves the franchise, and he wants to be a Raven forever, that's such a positive. I'm so glad to hear that. He wants to be here forever. Beautiful. Let's make this man a Raven lifer. That's what we want to happen. So we'll see what happens regarding his contract situation. I don't know when it will get done. They don't know when it will get done. But I'm sure Lamar and DaCosta, something's in the work between those two. They'll get it figured out. But, Lamar's not necessarily worried about that right now. His goal is to try and help this team get to a Super Bowl and win a championship. That's still the goal. Him and Hollywood Brown talk about it all the time. In fact, Hollywood, in his interview, also talked about this whole situation, saying every time him and Lamar are talking, they're talking about trying to get to a Super Bowl, trying to take that next drop, trying to get this team to where they want to reach, their overall goal of getting to and winning a Super Bowl. So you see Lamar and Hollywood, they're constantly talking about how they can take it to the next level and get this team to a Super Bowl because they want to win a chip. So it's great to see that your quarterback and one of your main guys on offense, they're constantly talking about that every time they're together and training and working out. You just love to hear it. So yeah, second thing Lamar says, and this correlates with his overall goal of trying to get this team to a Super Bowl and winning a championship. And this one is very important. Lamar Jackson says he plans to be more of a vocal leader this season. That is exactly what I've been waiting to hear for such a long time. Lamar wanted to be more of a vocal leader. That's exactly what we need. Lamar's already the leader of the team. He's the face of the franchise. He's the number one guy. It's the same level of, stature that Ray Lewis had, because when you come to Baltimore, you came for Ray Lewis. Now when you come to Baltimore, you come for Lamar Jackson. The man is the leader of the franchise, the face of the franchise. And since he's that guy, you would want him to be more vocal. Now, of course, Lamar, for the most part, in terms of his leadership, he's always done the whole scenario of leading by example. He's always been a leader by example. I'm going to continue to work hard, to grind. I'm going to be here. Even though this is voluntary, I'm going to be here working with my young players to get that chemistry going. He leads by example. We follow. As he goes, we follow. As he goes, we follow. So as long as he has that mentality of trying to lead this team and trying to work hard and doing everything he can to lead these guys, they're going to follow him. And I love it. He's had that since he's first gotten here. We already saw those traits, and he still has it to this day. And I want to continue to see Lamar lead by example. But one thing we've all been hoping, especially me, one thing I've wanted Lamar to have is to be more of a vocal leader. You've got a lot of young guys, especially on this offense, a lot of young guys that are going to look to you, man. When the team needs to show up and come together for a win, I need to see Lamar Jackson in the huddle trying to get these guys motivated. Pre-game, I need to see him trying to motivate them. I want to see Lamar Jackson be more of a vocal leader. Because when he's more of a vocal leader, you're going to see him talking with his guys, even if they don't get it right. And another thing, he said that too in his interview. It wasn't just about being a vocal leader. It's like he's going to be a vocal leader, but if we get something wrong, they're going to keep working and working and working at it until they get it right. That's exactly what he said. So he's really focused on being more of a vocal leader. He's completely bought in. Completely bought in. He's zoned in. He's ready for this season. And I just can't wait. I can't wait, because this is one thing I've always pointed out. I love Lamar. He's a great leader by example. But if he can become more of a vocal leader, this team will be able to really live up to their potential. Because when you've got your guy being vocal with you, especially if you're a young guy, if you're a young receiver, if you're a young defensive back, any young player on this team that looks to Lamar for guidance, well, not even guys, but look to Lamar as the leader of the team. If Lamar can get there and be vocal, it's great, because everyone loves Lamar. Lamar's always a guy out there having fun, and everybody relates to him. Everybody on the team, everybody in the offices, the whole staff, everybody loves Lamar. He's the face of the franchise. So if he can get more vocal, this will do so much for the young guys. To have the face of the franchise be vocal. That was one thing we always saw with Ray Lewis. He was vocal. Completely vocal. One of the greatest leaders to ever play this game. I'm not saying Lamar Jackson has to be, Ray Lewis in terms of being a vocal leader, but him being more vocal, especially with these young guys, and especially with our young guys on offense, it can go a long way for this team. So I'm so glad to hear Lamar is looking to do that more this season, and hopefully he'll continue it, and we'll get to see the results. Him being more vocal will definitely help boost this team. It will boost the young guys' confidence, it will boost the team's confidence, and it will start to play better, even if the situation isn't going well. So now, with your guy being more vocal, when we get in situations where we're potentially down, you know your guy Lamar Jackson is going to be vocal and talking to his guys, let's get it going. And we're going to see a difference. That's one thing that's been missing previously, and if Lamar can get more vocal as more vocal as a leader, what am I talking about? More vocal as a leader, then yes, it will definitely be a positive. But with that being said, that's all I gotta say. I'm so glad to hear this from Lamar. Hopefully we'll get to see moments like this throughout the season. I want to see Lamar being more vocal, getting in the huddle pregame to get these guys motivated to play. I want to see more of that. But yeah, with that being said, that is all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.